oak material for our countertops, for surrounding planks, wine shelves and bar chairs. And let's bring up layers menu and let's hide everything except kitchen. And now let's open material editor and let's create a new V-Ray material, and I will call that oak 1 and turn on background. In diffuse slot I will put a bitmap and oak diffuse 2 texture. Okay, and we will turn on reflections, something like mid gray. Okay, and we will turn on Fresnel, unlock Fresnel IOR, and let's try with 2.5 or even 3. Okay, and now scroll down and in maps I will put a new texture in reflection glossiness slot, and I will put this oak reflection texture. Okay, and one last in bump slot, oak bump texture. Okay, our bump is too strong. I will lower that down to 15, and 15 is still too much. Let's try with 8. Okay, 8 is good. And let's try to bring down a Fresnel a bit. 2.5 will be okay. Now let's select every object where we will apply our oak material. Okay, chair and these wine shelves, and hit apply. Now click this little button to see texture in viewport, and we can turn off our material editor. Now let's select this plank, apply UVW map, box, and let's rotate this in this direction by 90 degrees and also in this one by 90 degrees. Scroll down and hit fit, and now let's change length, something like that, and also height. Now copy that texture, actually that UV map, and apply that here and here, and we can move that slightly so we don't have exactly the same planks everywhere, and collapse that. Okay, collapse and collapse. Okay, now we need to apply material to this one also. UV map, box, and let's rotate by 90, and one more time. Scroll down, fit, and adjust the length. Okay, and wait, and let's copy that map and let's apply that here, 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 and to this plank, and we can collapse that. Okay, collapse here and here. Okay, now apply UV map to our countertop, and let's adjust height and length like that, and let's copy that and paste here, collapse and collapse, and let's paste that one more time here, and let's press fit. Okay, and adjust height and length and collapse all. Okay, and we need to select these shelves, apply UV map, box, and rotate that by 90 degrees, fit, and adjust height. Actually, we don't need to adjust height here, and collapse all. And now one more time, UV map, box, and let's rotate that by 90 degrees like that, and fit, and adjust height. And let's copy map one more time and paste here and collapse. Okay, and collapse here. And now we need to apply UV map to our chair, box, adjust height like that, and now select this object, apply. Okay, and we need to rotate that by 90 degrees in this direction, and we can collapse that. Now select legs, UV map, box, and rotate that by 90 degrees, and one more time. Okay, and collapse. And we can group together our chair, bar, chair 001. Okay, and now let's create one more oak material, call that oak 2, and in diffuse slot we will apply mix map and keep old map as a submap, and copy this one here, and here we will open a white oak texture, and we will mix them by 50%. Actually, this is too white. Let's use 30% of white texture and 70% of white. And now I will make a few copies of that chair. Okay, and one more. Now select these two and apply a new oak material. Okay, and let's place this chair here, rotate a bit, push this one here, this one here. Okay, rotate this one and push this one here, and let's unhide everything. In the next lesson we will create our MDF material, and we will create wall material, white MDF material. So let's create a new V-Ray material and call that MDF white, and let's turn on background, change color to white, and turn on reflections, something like medium gray. Okay, turn on Fresnel reflections, and for Fresnel IOR let's type in 3, and for reflection glossiness 0.98. Okay, and that's it. Maybe it's a bit too shiny. Let's try with Fresnel 2. Okay, and now let's apply that to our doors. Okay, select them all, and this shelf, apply. Now select these parts here and apply. And now we need to create a basic white material for our kitchen cabinet boxes behind. So we will just copy our basic material that we used for override, and let's call that basic white, and let's change diffuse color to white. Okay, and now let's select these boxes, apply that here, and let's hide walls for a second and select these boxes behind and apply that material. Okay, and let's unhide our walls, hide ceiling. Okay, and we have our kitchen almost ready. Now let's take a look on our walls. Let's pick up material from walls, and as you can see, I already prepared multi-sub material, and we have concrete material on walls outside. We can take a quick look on that material. In diffuse slot we have a mix map with concrete texture here, and we're mixing this texture with this gray color, and we are using 30% of that texture and 70% of that color, and let's actually even that. Let's use 50-50. It looks much better. Okay, and here in reflect and reflection glossiness I'm using color corrected concrete reflect map. Only thing I did is I increased the contrast here. Default texture was like that, and that's all. And we have a normal concrete bump here. Okay, very simple material. Let's go back, and we will have white walls, and only this wall here will be brown. So let's create a wall material. Make diffuse color white, turn on reflections. Let's add a slight reflections. Okay, and let's turn on Fresnel. And if you want, you can add noise in bump slot, but we don't actually need it because these details won't be visible on renders at all. But I can show you real quick what I mean. So add a noise, really small noise like 4, and that's it. But once again, we really don't need that because it will not be visible at all. We can clear that. Okay, and this is our white wall, and let's create brown one, and let's desaturate that and darken that. Okay, desaturate more. Let's go to red, desaturate like that, and maybe darken that up slightly. Okay, and slight reflections. Okay, and turn on Fresnel and 0.6. Okay, we have our brown wall, and we forgot to type reflection glossiness value here, 0.6. Okay, and we can apply also our shiny material to toe kicks. In this kitchen we will have shiny white toe kicks, but they are usually from aluminum or stainless steel, but in this case we will make them shiny white like the rest of the kitchen. Okay, that's it for this lesson. In the next lesson we will create materials for microwave, for oven, and for so let's start by creating material for induction hob. Create a new V-Ray material and turn on background, and we will put in the fuse slot a texture. We have this induction hob texture. Okay, and now turn on reflections, something like that. Turn on Fresnel and reflection glossiness of 0.96. Okay, and maybe we can turn on reflections even more. Okay, and apply that to induction hob. Undo, select induction hob and apply. Click this little button to see texture in viewport, apply UVW map and rotate that by 180 degrees, and we can collapse that. Now I will copy this material 2 times, one for microwave screen and one for oven screen, and we need just to replace textures. Okay, and for microwave we have microwave screen texture. Okay, and now let's select microwave and oven and open the groups, select screen, apply, and select this one and apply, and now apply UVW map, box, and collapse, and apply, box, collapse. Okay, now we need a shiny dark material for doors, and let's create one. Create a new V-Ray material, call that material shiny black, and in the fuse slot we will put a fall off map and change this white color to something very dark gray, like that. And now let's turn on reflections like that and Fresnel, and change reflection glossiness from 1 to 0.97, and we can apply that to our doors. Okay, now we will create a brushed metal for oven and microwave frames. So we will start by creating a V-Ray material and call that brushed metal base, because we will use a blend material here, so set diffuse color to very dark gray, 2 maybe. Okay, strong reflections, something like that. Turn on Fresnel, and now scroll down to maps, and in diffuse slot we will put this metal reflect texture, and we will use, actually we will mix this texture with this dark gray color, and we will use 50% of both. Okay, and copy this texture and paste here in reflect slot, and we will use for reflections only 30% of that texture. Now reflection glossiness 0.9, and let's unlock highlight glossiness, and let's change that also to 0.9, maybe 0.92, 0.91. Okay, scroll down to BRDF drop down menu and change blend to Ward, and let's check this box on fix dark glossy edges. Okay, and let's actually turn that back to 0.92, and we will turn on anisotropy. Let's make that 0.9 and rotate that by 90 degrees. Okay, and now let's copy that, and let's make that V-Ray blend material, keep old material as a sub material, delete base here, and copy this material here and rename that to coat. And now we will change this value to 8.82 and reflection glossiness to 0.8, and we will change anisotropy from 0.9 to 0.7 or maybe 0.6, and we have our brushed material texture, and we can apply that here and here, here also apply, and let's go to our texture and hit show texture in viewport to see is our UV mapping okay. Here is not, so let's select this object, apply UV map like that, and collapse, and UV map box and collapse. Let's check everything here. Okay, apply UV map box, and okay, collapse, and same thing here. Okay, and collapse. And we can also select our cooker hood, open the group, and apply that brushed metal material to cooker hood also, and let's see, is everything okay. And let's actually apply UV map cylindrical, and let's lower down the height like that, and collapse too. Okay, that's it for this lesson. In the next lesson we will continue creating our materials. We'll create more stainless steel materials and we will create brick. So let's start by creating a simple stainless steel material for our faucet. I will create a new V-Ray material and let's name that okay. Turn on background and let's make a very dark diffuse color, something like 8 will work okay. Turn on reflections and we need very strong reflections here. Okay, turn on Fresnel reflections and unlock Fresnel IOR and let's type in 50 and let's change reflection glossiness to 0.9. Okay, now scroll down to BRDF and change blend to ward and fix dark glossy edges, turn on. Okay, and we need to change our reflection glossiness value to 0.94 and that will be okay. And now let's apply our material to faucet and now let's copy this material and let's rename shiny from name and let's change reflection glossiness to 0.85 or maybe 0.86. Okay, and let's apply that to our sink and to buttons on our microwave and oven. Okay, and let's close these two groups. Now we will create brick material for our brick wall. So let's start again by creating new V-Ray material. Let's name that bricks and let's in diffuse slot we need to put this diffuse texture. Okay, and now turn on reflections, very dark reflections. Okay, turn on Fresnel, leave it at default for now and let's change reflection glossiness to 0.6. Turn on background and now let's put in reflection glossiness slot a new texture map, this time bricks reflect. Okay, and one more texture here in bump slot, bricks bump. Okay, and now we need to change bump value to 50 or maybe even more. Let's stick with 60 and also we will copy this map to display slot and this is obviously too much. Let's lower that down to 1 or maybe 0.5. Okay, and this is our brick material. Now let's create material for school board. Let's create a new V-Ray material here and call that okay, and we have texture for school board. Let's put that in diffuse slot, turn on background, turn on reflections, very dark reflections. Okay, and let's change that to 0.6. Turn on Fresnel and let's scroll down to maps and in reflect slot we will put in a reflection map Okay, and we will copy that map to reflection glossiness slot and to the bump slot. And let's lower down bump value to 3. Okay, and let's change reflection glossiness value here to 50 and this one to 40. Okay, and let's lower reflection glossiness even more, like that. Okay, now let's create a plane for brick wall. Select these boxes here and Alt Q to isolate them, and we need to move our toe kick in position. Okay, and now let's create one plane with auto grid turned on. Okay, and length segments 1 and width segments 1, convert that to editable poly. And with snaps, I will snap these words to corners. Okay, and the last one, turn off snaps with S on keyboard, and let's move that away from our boxes, and we can apply brick material here. Press this little button to see our material in viewport. Isolate that with Alt Q, apply UV W map, and let's change width to 160 and length to 90 or maybe 100. Okay, and let's move up slightly our texture and collapse all. Okay, and now school board. Let's create a box here with our auto grid turned on. Okay, and let's type in dimensions, length 240, width 90, and height 1 centimeter, and let's convert that to editable poly. Move that closer to island and maybe push that up slightly. Okay, and let's select all edges with Ctrl A and chamfer all edges 0.2 or maybe 0.1 with 2 segments, and we can collapse that. Okay, and let's apply school board material here. Okay, and let's take a look once again on our brick material. Let's change reflection glossiness to 0.5 or maybe 0.55, and let's change this value here to 50. Okay, and let's copy our reflect texture to reflect slot, and let's lower down this value here to 40. Okay, that's it for this lesson. In the next lesson we will finish